How you going, guys? Curtis from Cutting Edge Engineering. Today's job is going to be part 2 of making the MOAC, which is our mother of all cutters. So if you missed part 1, there'll be a link in the description below. Now we can get on to setting up our plate on the rotary table. So that's set up and ready to go. Next thing I'm going to do is set up a 16mm roughing end mill, and that's so we can cut the gullets for the inserts. So we've got center, but the first thing I'm going to do is offset the cutter 8mm off the center line to take into account the diameter of the cutter. So to cut our gullets, I'm going to feed in 28mm, and hopefully we don't get too many vibrations. We are getting a little bit of vibration. The surface finish is not the best, but that is because I'm taking a full depth of cut with that end mill. But that's not going to be a problem. We will be coming back with a finishing end mill to clean all them up. Righto guys, so I have just made a very big rookie error. Karen and I were just laughing about how funny it'd be if I put this plate on upside down, and that's exactly what I did, and I've already cut my first gullet. So what that means is I can either countersink the holes on top and then flip the plate when we're done and use it the right way, or we're going to have to run this in reverse. But either way, it's not going to be a problem, so we're just going to keep on going. So now what I'm going to do is index the table around 36 degrees and cut our second one. So that's number 2 done. Now we're going to rotate the table another 36 degrees. It would definitely be a lot easier and a little bit more precise using a super indexer. Unfortunately, they don't make them this big, and the one I have is far too small. So that's our 10 gullets roughed out. Now I'm going to change out to a brand new finishing end mill and clean up all those edges. And while it's set up like this, I am going to mill the remaining material on the diameter just to clean it up. Not much there. Righto guys, so that's all the milling done with it set up in this position. It looks really good, I'm really happy with it. Now what we need to do is stand it up so we can work on the insert pockets. Now that we've got that set up, I'm just going to put a dial indicator and sweep across the face to make sure it is running parallel with the bed. Now we've got that running to within 0.01 of a mil, which is going to be fine. We're just going to tighten that in place and we can get ready to start drilling some holes. So before we start drilling, we do need to find the edges of the plate. That way we've got a reference for where we're drilling our holes.
Just enough.
So now we have our references. Our holes are 5mm in from each face, and we also need to take into account the diameter of the edge finder. And I need to drill those holes 20mm deep, and that will allow for the height of the insert and the anvil. And to drill the holes, I'm going to be using a 4.5mm carbide drill. So that's our first position drilled. Now I need to index this around 36 degrees and do this another 9 times. Now that step's done, we're going to change out from our drill to a custom grind 10.5mm end mill, and that is to machine the area for where our anvil needs to go.
Hey.
Righto guys, so that's our second process completed. Now what I need to do is change out from our 10.5mm end mill to our custom ground end mill, and it has been custom ground to suit the geometry and the profile of the inserts we're going to be using. And I do want to give a shout out to Arthur and the team from Live Tools for organising all of our custom ground end mills and all of our inserts and hardware so we could make this cutter. And I'm also going to reset the depth to 4.75mm to match the height of the insert. So that's the first one done, and if you haven't guessed it, I'm going to do that 9 more times. So we're getting closer. Our next process is tapping those holes, and the size we're going to tap them is M5 by 0.5. And this is the only tap that I have, and I have got 20 holes to do, so hopefully I don't break it. Righto guys, so we have successfully tapped all of those holes. The last thing I need to do while it's in the milling machine is put a radius on these edges. Drop it. Stay. Sit. Stay.
They got no choice.
Drop it. Touch. Sit. Sit. Stay. Hey. So there have been a lot of tool changes on this job, and it would be really good to have a power drawbar, but it is something that I never wanted to put on here because that means we wouldn't be able to use our 90-degree head. But now that we have the Zayer and it is a bit easier to set up than this is, I might invest in a power drawbar. Now that I've got all the radiuses milled, I'm just going to go through and take off all these little sharp bits using a wire wheel on a grinder. I'm also going to go around with a Zayer deburring tool and take off all these sharp edges. And now that we've got all of that done, we're going to install all of the inserts. And what we're going to be using is all Palbot hardware. We have 20 anvils and they go underneath the insert and they are there to help support it. Holding them in place are the anvil screws. And then we have the inserts, which are 12mm round or a button insert, and 20 screws to hold them in place. And just to make sure these screws are torqued correctly, I'm going to use my Slocky torque kit. So those fit spot on, they are seated correctly and they do sit flush, and we also have enough protrusion so they work correctly. And now I've got 18 more to install. So that's our cutter complete. Next thing we're going to do is take it out of the mill so we can bolt it onto the arbor.
Hello. Want some more? See ya.
So everything has gone together exactly how we wanted it to, but one thing I really want to see is what this looks like in the Zayer. But because it is 45 kilo, I'm not going to try and hold this in place. I'm going to put it on the bed on some timber and bring the spindle to it. So I've got the cutter installed into the Zayer, and I am going to start it off very slow. We're going to start off at 53 RPM. So that is spinning absolutely perfectly. There is no run out and it's not moving around at all. So I'm going to bump it up to 88 RPM, which is going to be the maximum speed I'm ever going to run this on a job. So that's running very nicely, but just for fun, I am going to bump it up to 340 RPM. Not that we're ever going to use it at that speed, I just want to see how cool it looks. Righto guys, so that's our mother of all cutters completed. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. All up, there was a solid day's work in this and about $2,500 in parts. Most of that was the inserts, anvils, and the custom tooling we had to make to match the geometry of the insert. I did get a quote to have a cutter like this made and it was nearly $9,000. So we have definitely saved ourselves a lot of money. And this is going to make doing those jobs so much faster and so much easier. But before I actually put it to use, I am going to send it away to have the tough tried treatment done to it. That way it's going to last a long time, look a lot better. So you're just going to have to wait for that video when we're using it. Thanks for watching. Righto guys, righto guys?
Yeah, and you got dirt right around your nose.
You could help, I can't see it.
Okay.
I'm just going to go through and take off all these little sharp bits with a grinder on a wire wheel. So I'm very happy with how everything's working. Righto, so I've got that installed in this Zayer. So I've got, not that we're ever going to use it at that speed. Fuck, what was up there? So we've already got our center position, and what
No, that's it. And now you bolt it down.
Yeah.
That's centered. That was literally seconds. Duh, what the hell? So is the hand wheel going to be in the way? It's like all over the place. It looks so pretty.
I can play with it.
No, thank you. All in there too. Oh, that's got the big chunks in it. Whoa. Oh my god. Jesus. Freaking mess.
Oh, that's tiny.
What happened? Oh, it's hitting that. Somehow. How has that happened? It's in the way.
Stupid thing.
Oh my god, how did you even do that?
Bump that.
Oh my god, paid the blood tax.
Stay. Stay. No. Stay. Stay.
The chicken when you throw it though. Yeah.